Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Zero Strategy Game and this is Taskmasters, where every Tuesday I go up against 5 other YouTubers to design ships in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought. So this week is going to be another team task, meaning we are going to go off and pair in teams of 2, and I think France is going to be played by Brother Monroe and Everyday's Different Gaming. Spartan and History Guy Gaming are going to go for Spain, which I did last week, and that was a lot of fun, and it is very unique. And Stealth17 and myself are going to try to redeem ourselves from last week's failure by playing Italy. So our task is going to be to design heavy cruisers, and here is the fun catch about that. We're going to design very different ships. So Stealth is going to be forced to design a heavy cruiser with 15 main caliber guns and no torpedoes whatsoever, whereas I can only do 4 main caliber guns and otherwise have to rely on torpedoes. So very different ships in a way, and we're going to go off against a whole fleet of the United Kingdom. So let's go for that. Right, there we go. It is going to be 1927, and that's fine. And we're going to start at a range of 20,000 meters. The UK is actually going to be played as a slightly later date, but here's the catch. They do have a lot more ships than we do, and these ships are going to be tough to crack. They're going to have a battle cruiser worth 10 points, heavy cruiser worth 5 points, light cruisers, 2 of them worth 3 points each, and 2 destroyers for 2 points each. So a lot of points we've gotten here, but this is a heavily tilted battle. I mean, it's 1 against 6, and we do have a battle cruiser in the mix, which is going to be horrible to fight. We're going to be playing as Italy, in fact, over here. So yeah. That does set it up. We are limited to a ship of 15,000 tons, so that's the first thing that we're going to change over here. 15,000 tons. And then we need to talk about our strategy here, because we are going to be based around torpedoes. And that's going to be the main thing that we have. We have got a couple of guns, but it's really not that much. So I think there are basically 2 ways how you can handle torpedoes in this game, and that is due to the fact that the AI will take evasive maneuvers, as of course they would, once they are spotting torpedoes in the water. And that does mean you can either go with electric torpedoes, and that does mean, oxygen torpedoes, which does mean that you can fire off torpedoes at a very long range and get basically a good spread, so that the enemy will notice them somewhat later than they normally would. Torpedo detector range is down, but even when they do, they can't really take evasive action because it's going to be a lot of torpedoes in the water. So that, I think, might be an interesting proposition here to do that. So that would be kind of the first thing to try. The second thing that we could do is we could go for a fast torpedo setup, and that is basically taking a very fast ship, getting very close to the enemy, and then firing off these torpedoes so close to the enemy that they cannot actually physically take evasive action in the time remaining until they're going to be hit. The challenge about fast torpedoes is they are going to have destroyers and they're going to have light cruisers, and even their heavy cruisers might be armed with torpedoes as well. And if we do get so close to them, we have a pretty good chance of being hit ourselves. So I think we're going to go for the oxygen torpedoes here. Which I realistically can't because we don't have the technology. I don't think fast is viable though. We could go for standard. You know what, let's try electric. I haven't really tried that before. That does still mean we will need to... So these, I think, are a little bit slower than they are normally. But they are going to be detected quite late, and that's nice. Okay, so what we're going to try to do then is we're going to try to come in very fast and be in front of the enemy, fire off the electric torpedoes from a good position, and hopefully hope for the best there. One interesting factor here is if we want to go for a very fast ship, hull form is going to be important. So basically the hydrodynamic form of the ship here. And the Heavy Cruiser 5 does not seem to have such a good hull form as the other ones. Heavy Cruiser 1, no, that's not 15,000 tons. But well, it's either going to be a Heavy Cruiser 4 or 2. You've got that annoying thing there in the middle. Okay, you know what? I like this design. I like the bulbous front that is sort of tapering off on the upper deck here to the rear. And then sort of the lower deck coming in with this sort of half circle shape there. I do like that idea. It does look very nice, and it does look like you could place a lot of torpedoes down here. Maybe not there. Okay, yeah, I like it. Let's take this one. The Dreadnought. I think that's a good name. 15,000 tons. That's good. Let's go for 38 knots, maybe. Yeah. We don't need to be on any range setting. We don't have any constraint here on the cost. So let's indeed dial all of this up here as much as possible. Bulkheads, flooding, all of that should be okay. I am going to hesitate on the torpedoes here a little bit. We are going to go electric. Now, if we want to make sure that we're actually going to be able to take them out and not alert themselves to our presence too early, I think we're going to go only with 19-inch torpedoes here, just to make sure that we're not going to be spotted early. Right, and then let's go for the main tower here, where we don't actually need the base accuracy because we don't have that many good guns anyway. So I think what we can in fact do is simply pick the slightly older versions here that are going to be a little bit lighter, and that should be okay. So 10 tons per funnel capacity, a little bit more than that, so not as efficient, pretty much the same. This is actually a little bit below, so that does give us 13% of engine efficiency. 25, 33. So we can either go with 3... Oh, yeah, that's nice. 3 of you for 512, or 4 of you, 440 tons less. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Let's bring these a little bit to the front there. And isn't that a nice design? Isn't that a good looking ship? I like it. Okay, let's add some guns here. Right, centerline guns. Oh, we do have 11-inch guns. These are Mark V. I think we're mainly going to use the guns not so much against the battle cruiser, but actually mostly against the destroyers, maybe light cruisers. Let's say at a range of 7,500 or so. That's 5.2. It's 4.4 accuracy. And you're going to be able to fire them often, so we're going to use the 9-inch guns here. And focus very much on torpedoes. Okay, let's look at torpedoes. 23 tons per tube. 18 tons, 18 tons, more than 20. Okay, so these two are the most efficient ones. These are going to reload a little bit faster, so let's pick these. And I think I want at least 10 or so per side. Yeah, we can actually fit some on there, and that's nice. Okay, that's not looking too badly, is it? We do have a lot of enemies, so I think we do want to dial up the ammo here. We do probably want to dial up the ammo on the guns too. We probably want to use TNT, and that does mean we're going to use... Oh, that's not actually that weighty. Yeah, let's at least use Bobat 2 to make sure that we're not going to be hit that badly. Right, I think that's a good design. I'm happy with that. Okay, we do need to think about torpedoes, though. Now, I think we're going to be very agile here with acceleration, with turning rates. So I think we're going to go with no passive defenses here. And instead we're going to go with good sonar to basically spot the enemy torpedoes early and then evade them. That's about 200 tons. Okay, yeah, let's go with this. Guns are not that important. We're not going to use radar. Because if we don't have that many guns, I think we're going to be alright with going a little bit lower there. Let's go slightly lower here on the deck armor. I think we are going to be mostly closing in with the enemy rather than doing anything else here. We do have a lot of weight remaining. We might actually dial this up substantially. That's a very well armored heavy cruiser here. And let's say 12 on the turrets. Turret tops, you know what, you can also be 2.5. I don't think this does affect anything. No, it doesn't. How about 14 here and maybe 17 here? These are pretty well armored. Maybe 18, 15 maybe here? Maybe 15, but this is a very well armored ship. Do we want to go up with the speed a little bit? This almost feels excessive, but we are going to go up against a battle cruiser. Turret top. mean, the conning tower should generally be better armored than the belt, I think. The turrets, I mean, the turrets are not that important in this case. So maybe dial down on that a little bit. Okay, what's the limit here? Can we actually go above 20? Yeah, we can't. 20 inches of belt armor. And this is crop 4 armor, so it is going to be a pretty decent armor here. Okay, that's now too much. If we dial that down to 16.5, maybe 19. This is still pretty good armor. 20 on the conning tower. It's a little bit too much. There we go. 19.5 on the conning tower too. Okay, I think it's okay that way. Right, good. Some way, no, offset. Oh, that's a perfectly balanced ship. We rarely ever get a perfectly balanced ship. It is a beauty, and it's an extremely well armored beauty. Let's double check everything. I think we've got it. I really want to redeem myself from last week. Right, last week was a horrible failure. At least for us as a team, and it was a very bit unlucky because Stealth did get hit pretty badly, pretty early in the battle, and that was really a shame to watch. That was so bad. Okay, I'm turning off the guns and everything here because I don't want to prematurely fire anything. Okay, that's good. So the weather is pretty bad. And that does mean we're going to be having some negative modifiers here to accuracy, but so will they. And given that we are mostly here about torpedoes, I think that does help us to avoid some damage here. It would be nice to find them though, after all. And this is maybe where our lack of radar is not that useful for us. I don't see any shells coming in, so they haven't spotted us either. Oh, there we go. Wait a minute. Right, what have they got over here? That is the heavy cruiser, which has an enormous amount of secondary turrets, but only 8 main caliber guns, and I don't see any torpedo tubes, at least no overwater torpedo tubes. Right, let's actually check that out, see whether he's got anything. So 2 inches, yeah, he has some underwater torpedo tubes, but it can't be that many. So that is kind of interesting. Okay, and we are seeing some further shells coming a little bit from the rear there. Right. I think we can open fire on you. We're going to go for safely here. I'm not going to use the torpedoes yet because it's just way too far away, I think. How far are you actually away? 9.1. Okay, technically you are within range. But yeah, you are maneuvering, so I think that's kind of unlikely. There's the second ship. That's probably going to be the battle cruiser. Yeah, it is. You've got 15 guns. I don't like to see that. But basically just 1 pair of secondaries there. 15 main caliber guns. That's going to be hard to break. 3-inch guns. And 12-inch main caliber guns. That's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough knuckle. Right. Let's see whether we can get the heavy cruiser first. Maybe you guys second. Okay, they are opening fire on us. We haven't really opened fire on them yet. Wow. Okay, that's not gonna be nice. They are still at a range where it's still plunging fire coming in for us, rather than the more conventional sort of horizontal fire. Okay, I think you've more or less found your way there. You're not in a maneuver anymore. So at this point we might want to start launching torpedoes at you. The other alternative would be to try to break through there. But I don't think that's going to be possible. .2. I don't think we are in a position to actually launch any torpedoes, but we are going to try. If they are, they're going to probably going to go off that direction. How fast are you actually? 30.4 knots. Okay, our torpedo is actually slower than our ship. That's we could actually overtake our own torpedoes and be hit by them. That's unusual, I would say. Maybe I misdesigned that. I don't think so. I am fairly confident in the design. It's so well protected too. Don't know whether I mentioned that, but the tiebreaker is going to be this structural integrity. So if we do get all the same points, or if we are going to be tied with some other team, we are actually going to be evaluated on the structural integrity that's going to be left on our ship, on our two combined ships, his Stealth 17s and mine, to see whether we are going to win. Provided, of course, we actually survive the fight. Right, I do want to really use my torpedoes. Well, you are nearly there, but probably our torpedoes need to go somewhere over there to actually hit you, and you're not doing that. And let's turn you on here, basically. Okay, what's that? That is a destroyer. He's coming in very aggressively, and he does have some torpedo tubes. Only 4, so it's not excessive, but he's coming in aggressively here. And here's... You've got 6.3, you've got 6.1. You probably have a slightly smaller torpedoes there. But I think we want to fire at you, and we want to send our torpedoes his way. That's basically the setup that I want here. And then the normal guns can actually use high explosives. Because if that is a torpedo boat or destroyer, that should be more than enough to break his armor. Okay, he's 8.7 kilometers away. What if we change to you as a target? Will we be sending off some torpedoes? I kind of doubt it. Ouch, ouch, 5%. 5% killed here. Deck and mid-belt. That's harsh. That's really harsh. Right, let's try to come in a little bit closer. He's probably going to fire off his torpedoes, but we can evade these at this range. It's 8.7 kilometers, so we'd probably aim at some point over here. Yeah, that's out of range. That's going to be a difficult setup here to break. I don't want him to have plunging fire on us. Don't want to get too close to him either. But I think I need to be a little bit closer to avoid basically firing off our torpedoes to nowhere. We know about you. We know that you might send off torpedoes soon. Okay, let's accelerate time here. Do need to be very vigilant here that they're not... Okay, there we go. They have sent off some torpedoes. Yeah, we can go there. That should neatly avoid them. That cruiser is still 8 kilometers away. We've already lost 7% of our structural integrity here. I dislike to see that. We have a cruiser here. Ooh, there we go. That's another torpedo set. They're coming in fast, but at least we are spotting them early due to that. Okay, so let's try to evade them by... I don't want to get further away from the battle cruiser though. It's the thing. So we are going to go towards them, and then we're going to turn to the left, I think. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. There we go, that's another ship. Probably a light cruiser. Okay, oh, there we go. That's a broad spread. A bit more broader than I expected, actually. Right, let's turn back in here. Okay, there we go. That's a good hit, though. 200 points of damage there. They have a lot of torps left, though. We've got probably increased ammo. Yeah. Well, can't do much about that. Right, we need to be also careful about you. And we are sort of in between everyone now. It's sort of where you need to be when you are firing off torpedoes, but then again, it's not that comfortable. Right, can we actually send torpedoes your way? Yeah, okay, at least we are firing off some torpedoes now. At least that is going to disrupt their formation, even if it's not gonna impact them by much. Didn't we fire off something? Oh, it's basically to the front there. Whew, that's not good. Right. You are soon going to launch another torpedo at me. Let's try to be proactive about that. That destroyer cannot do much there. Right, let's switch fire here. Yeah, there we go. That's another torpedo launched at us. Turn over here. Maybe not. Maybe actually turn very aggressively to the left here. And now very aggressively to the right to get our heck out of the way. Ooh, there we go. Fantastic. But very, very, very narrow too. Okay, let's send some torpedoes your way. From our left side here, presumably. Come on. I think we did send them off from the right side last time, so we should be able to hit him. Yeah, there we go. At least we should be able to send something his way. I'm not entirely sure whether we will be able to hit him, but... Okay, we are in a better position against the battlecruiser 2, though, at this point. 6.4 kilometers. What, we have 16, that's, times 2, and then 10%, so... 32, let's call that 35. And you can pen 35. You can't pen 35. Well, that's lovely. Right, I think we're only going to disrupt you. Still, that does look like a decent-ish angle. Could work. Not going to bank on it, but might. No, I think we're going to pass behind him. Maybe this one? Well, you've detected us, but... Ah, you were so lucky there. Well, we dodged you in sort of a similar fashion, but still. Okay, let's try to hit you. Let's actually hold off here for a second. Let's actually hit you with our main guns, and you are going to be our torpedo target. And we have sent off some torpedoes here. Alright, let's see whether that is going to work. Wait, what? A torpedo hit here? I don't think we targeted you before, did we? Did we, though? That must have been a shot that we were aiming at someone else, wasn't it? Oh, well, that's interesting. And it looks to me a lot... Okay, let's turn off this over here. It looks to me a lot like you're going to be hit by a lot of other things here, too. Nice. Very nice indeed. You're going to be toast. You've got flooding all along the keel there. You're gonna, my friend. We are down to 88%. That's not great, but actually their light cruisers don't have any torpedoes. That's nice to see. Okay, let's go all in on you. And let's actually turn in towards the battlecruiser here. I'm hoping to deflect some of these shots. Right, that does work out. Okay, you guys haven't launched torpedoes yet. We've got the Royalists, and we have some nice flooding here. That's great to see. Fantastic. I mean, that did waste a couple of torpedoes there, but man, I'm happy that we did take out the battlecruiser. That is the thing that I was most afraid of. Right. We do need to be careful about these guys because they are going to send off torpedoes our way, and they just did. There they are. Yeah, you're still flooding a lot there, so I would love to sink you. Don't want to get too close, especially to that guy there. The light cruiser's actually fine because they don't have torpedoes. Come on, just... If you could kindly sink that person there. Okay, I'm actually going to send off some torpedoes towards the destroyer there. Mostly to disrupt him and prevent him from following us. Unfortunately, we don't seem to have any. Okay, we do need to target him because he's danger close now. I would have loved to sink that guy because he's gonna be so annoying. Right, but he's the main danger here. High explosive, please. Okay, can you Can you bloody well send some torpedoes his way? Just break off his chase if nothing else. And look at how close we are still to our own torpedoes there. Okay, engine damage there. That's nice to see. That might actually... Nice. Nice. Is he actually gonna go into the same spread there? That's actually not the same spread. That's not the same spread that got the battle cruiser, but it is the spread that we did send towards the battle cruiser, and then has just gone down. Okay, I was maybe a little bit too lucky here. Oh, I thought we had sent down the other destroyer there. Actually, I thought the destroyer here that sunk a little bit before we actually hit it with the torpedoes there. But still, you know what? I'm happy that we did lob a lot of torpedoes his way. Right, we've still got 41 left, and we've got basically a single destroyer and a single light cruiser there. Admittedly, we were a little bit lucky there, but on the other hand, 14 damage points here. I mean, I think we were doing pretty well, honestly, with the battle cruiser. Yeah, and the last thing that they do have is, I think, the heavy cruiser, actually, right? That is what we haven't touched at all yet. So the heavy cruiser did get away, right? Ah, Jesus, I feel that it's too exciting for me to watch all of these things. Right, you almost have your torps to reload it. It's also not that great. We've got allegedly a battle cruiser up there, which I don't quite believe. But it's actually, I gotta admit, it's fun if we were to be able to sink destroyers here with torpedoes. You haven't loosed your torpedoes yet? You haven't launched them? No, don't do it. Yeah, do sink. Right, there we go. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, you've reversed your opinion on that ship from a battlecruiser down to a destroyer. Sometimes the AI is a little bit weird like that. I, on the other hand, believe it's a light cruiser. And I do believe that this fire coming in here is from the heavy cruiser. So we're going to try to go for the heavy cruiser. Yeah, that's the outer lane. We have about 500 shells left. With our luck, that is not going to do much. But if you watch Brother Monroe, he's going to be able to just one-shoot enemy heavy battle cruisers with a single shell, probably. He's done some fantastic work in his last video. Not on this task. Well, maybe on this task too. I don't know yet. But on the last task, he sank a battleship and a battle cruiser in the span of, I think, 127 seconds. That was just amazing to watch. Basically from zero, not quite zero damage, but it was very little damage. On the other hand, our 14 percentage points of damage here, that might not be able to break the tie in our favor, and that would be somewhat awkward. Because I would really like to win this week. Last week was so unfortunate. I felt we were doing so great as a team, and that was just like one shell. I think it was at a 10-kilometer range. He got a flash fire on one of his turrets, even though he had good citadels and he did use tube powder, not even TNT. So it was really unlucky. Stealth got unlucky there. Right, but maybe this time we can redeem ourselves. You've got 7-inch guns, which honestly are a little bit annoying. I don't think they should be able to pen us, but it would certainly be lovely if we could at least do some damage here against you. The heavy cruiser might... No, he's not doing plunging fire. This is 8 kilometers. You can actually go 38 knots. That's quite a speed. You can go 36. That's amazing. Yeah, we don't get the 38 tons anymore. Sorry, knots, not tons. Because we did take some damage. And they didn't. Because we are not hitting them at all. This is a fairly low hit chance too, though. Why is that? Evening time? Aiming in progress? Aiming in progress? Why is aiming in progress? Is that due to the fact that he's traversing too fast? Might be, might be. Okay, let's try to send up some torpedoes this way. Just to stopping being an annoyance from the side there. Well, apparently we can't. Oh, there we go. They're finally flooding hit there. Okay, there we go. Some torpedoes in the water. It would be lovely. No. Was that on you, maybe? No. Must have been mistaken. Oh! She's sinking. Well, that was a good hit there. It was not that many hits, but it was a good hit. Right, let's try to close in with you. And of course, you are landing a hit that is doing more damage to us. We're actually burning. We're burning below our rear turret there. Dislike to see that. We should have some good damage control. Speaking about, so you've got minimum bulkheads, but you've got a triple bottom hull and anti-torpedo 3. You're going to be tough to crack with torpedoes, but once you are cracked, we should be able to do fairly well. We've got a lot of ammo. Should be able to do maybe some damage here. Would be lovely to do some engine damage so that he's slowing down. Or even better would be steering damage. If his steering was broken, we would have a lovely time. We must not forget about his 4 torpedoes there. Time is at 15 minutes, but this week time doesn't matter that much. Okay, let's come in a little bit more like that. Maybe we can get our rear turret into action. It would be lovely. I think it is. Yeah, no it is now. Good. Did start a fire there. Not too meaningful, I believe. Unless we do get a flash fire or a magazine explosion on him. What I'm really looking for is engine damage here on him. Okay, let's try to send up some torpedoes this way. I don't want to get too close because his torpedoes do scare me as well. We've got 31 left. That's basically 3 salvos. We're not that much faster than him is the thing though. We are not gaining on him really. I think technically at this point we're slower than him. That does mean our torpedoes are not going to be able to... They would need to fire... Remember, we are faster than our torpedoes are. So that is going to be incredibly awkward. We must have a better chance of penning him though than he has of penning us. But he has so many small guns that they're going to start fires all the time. And we're down to 80%. Oh, stop it. He's fired at least 2 torpedoes, I think. Okay, let's try to get closer to him. I think that is going to be viable. We are probably going to send over 1 salvo of torpedoes there while we're doing that. Let's be aggressive about this because our torpedo protection completely relies on avoiding torpedoes in the first place. Which we are capable of doing so far, and I don't want to break that. Right, okay, let's turn off this for a second here. Don't think this is that hopeful. I think he's using mostly high explosives actually to start fires and such. Okay, again, not get too close because he is going to reload these torpedoes and that would do some harm. We should be able to pen him pretty nicely. He shouldn't be able to pen us at all. Okay, I'm going to try. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's always 10 torpedoes. It would be lovely if we could actually steer. Okay, look at that. The game thinks the intercept course of these torpedoes is actually going to be over here. So it used the torpedoes on the left side of our ship rather than the ones on the right. At least we have penned him there. Okay, that's hilarious. We actually cannot go too far to the left here because we would be running into our own torpedoes. You know what? That would actually be super awkward. So I am gonna go a little bit slower here for a second, just to make sure that we can let these guys go in the front of us. Gonna restart our engines completely now. Gonna be a little bit. At least I want to be on the left side of this, Because if he's going to fire his torpedoes now, I need some way to run away from him, and that would not be... It would not be cool to run into our own torpedoes and lose this fight here on that basis. Okay, we have disabled a couple of engines here, which I don't think he's actually going to be able to recover, right? No, he is going to be able to pump out that stuff, and that would regain his engines. I'm still going to turn on... Do I want to turn this on? Yeah, let's turn it on. We might send off some torpedoes now on the right-hand side of our ship. Due to his slowdown, maybe we can do something here. I'm not entirely sure. He definitely does seem to be slowing down, but he has almost reloaded his torpedo, so I just can't get closer to him now. He's doing damage on us, and on our torpedo tubes actually. Come on. Come on, one salvo. One salvo's all I need. I know you can fire from the right hand side of the ship, but you're not gonna, are you? Stop it. Okay, he has launched, we don't, so let's try to avoid that bloodshed. Okay, he is coming in quite aggressively like that, so I think if we go, we might actually just go like this, and that should relatively easily avoid these things. More flooding damage there on him, that's great to see. He might actually not survive that at all. And even if he is, at this point we can come in so aggressively, because he's shot off all of his torpedoes. You know, if it was me, I would have probably not fired these torpedoes at all, simply because it does prevent us from getting close and personal and doing some damage here. Wow. He's actually doing more damage against us than the battlecruiser though. We do need to reload our torpedo tubes. They weren't really firing on him last time. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Don't go into the front of your own torpedoes there. That would be immensely stupid. We're down to 70%, 69% on us. That's a nice number to call the squids. I'm not sure this is going to be a fantastic run. Probably the other guys are going to have some better percentages. They are really strong players. Do check them out. You'll find a link to their videos down in the description below. We'll also find, at least a couple of hours after this video has gone up, a comment by Pascal who is going to detail how every team did. If you don't want to check them out, but do. They are good players, especially Stealth. I'm going to be very eager to find out how he did. That being said, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and do hope to see you around next Tuesday. Bye bye, guys.